Well, we now stay in the NBA and we'll move to, we alluded to that disappointing team that did not make the play-in tournament because they were that bad this season, the Los Angeles Lakers, who were 33-49 this year. And, well, someone had to pay the price for that, and that would be Frank Vogel, the coach of the Lakers, who, the same one who won an NBA title 2 years ago. Frank Vogel is out as coach of the Lakers. They will, I assume, begin their coaching search henceforth and immediately. Rob Pelinka did not, I don't think he got into too much detail on Monday of what exactly the reason why Vogel was fired. But Lakers obviously had a lot of issues this year, health being front and center. They traded for Russell Westbrook in the offseason. He did not have a particularly great year. I think that's probably an understatement. But Anthony Davis missed 42 games. LeBron James missed 26 games. So in all, those three players only played 21 games. They were only 11-10 in those. So Frank Vogel gets the short end of the stick on this one, I'd say. Do you believe that was fair, Drink?
No, I do not. I would challenge someone to give me a pie chart and then start divvying up the responsibility and show me where Frank Vogel shovels more responsibility than Rob Pelinka, more responsibility than LeBron, and more responsibility than AD, Westbrook, more responsibility than some of the players that you got. Hell, Kendrick Nunn didn't play one game this season. I think this is unfair. But I will say this is on par with our thinking when we talk about the lifespan of a coach in the NBA. We say 3 years, right? And this year number 3 for Frank Vogel. So it's like, I almost want to do Lakers on management think that the championship in the bubble was like a fluke. That's kind of like how I'm going with that. Because you fire a guy 2 years after he wins the title for even last year wasn't his fault. Like I don't know who is this guy? Is he turning water into wine or what? What you want from him? Like NBA head coach. Like you want him to make bread out this piece? Start making 100 loaves of bread? Like I don't get it. You want him to start coming to the games riding on a cloud? Because he's not gonna he can't make the impossible possible. Listen, you just said it, Jay. The big three per se played 21 games together. Let me tell you something. If the Nets don't make it out of the play-in tournament, do you think Steve Nash getting fired after that?
I don't think he gets fired, but I wouldn't be mad if people are calling for his job.
I tell you this, I don't think he's going to get fired for the obvious reason. He cannot control the clown show that was around the team. It's not his fault that Kyrie was a part-time employee. It's not his fault that KD missed 30-some-odd games. It's definitely not his fault that James Harden decided not to play. Now we go over to the Lakers where like Frank Vogel don't get none of them benefits of the doubt. He got a title under his belt. He don't get nothing.
That's right.
Hey, Frank, you should have coached better. Coach who? Malik Monk? Austin Reeves? Like who?
Coach
Wayne? What is God?
Don't give me some Wayne Ellington.
No, not Wayne Ellington too, but no, the cat that they got, he plays center. He was like a two-way player. Wayne.
You talking about Wenyen Gabriel?
There we go, and that guy.
This is, it's just.
So I'm like, what the hell? What are we talking about right now? Who? The only star that he had out of the big three that was consistently healthy was Westbrook. Now, for all the people that say Frank Vogel didn't use him right, it's a YouTube clip. Type in Russell Westbrook worst plays. You're gonna see a bunch of open layups missed, a bunch of open shots missed. I mean, turnovers out. sometimes he just throw the ball and I think he closes his eyes and say it'll make it to where it need to make it to. Like, it's so much that went wrong with this team. And the best explanation we can get is Frank Vogel got to go. Oh, we ain't even going to start on Rob Pelinka not doing a damn thing at the trade deadline. Oh, what about this story I'm hearing about Westbrook shouldn't even be on this team because it should be Buddy Hield and DeMar DeRozan. And if you have Buddy Hield and DeMar DeRozan, guess who you get to keep? What about Caruso? What about KCP? You know, only the best defensive players you had on the team last year. So it's a reason why they was number one in defensive efficiency in the last 2 years, and then this year they was a whopping 21 out of 30. Like, come on, man. The Lakers was 6-18 after the All-Star break. You was worse than, you was only better than the Blazers? Yuck. The Rockets? Okay. The Pacers? Hell, I tell you, name me 6 players from all, 6 players total for all 3 of them teams, you might struggle. Like, what are we doing? And it's Frank Vogel's fault. Oh, yeah, you're right. Frank Vogel. It's Frank Vogel's fault that LeBron James missed 26 games. Anthony Davis missed 42 games. Westbrook actually missed 4, which I didn't know because I felt like he was there for every game, whether he was making shots or not. And then Kendrick Nunn didn't play at all this year. Oh, that's definitely his fault. Or maybe, just maybe, it's a case to be made that Frank Vogel should have kept his job because the young players that he actually got a chance to put on the court actually looked like something. THT, Malik Monk, Austin Reeves, the Gabriel kid. The young players, I thought, when they got an opportunity, Stanley Johnson, I thought they played okay. Now, these are, like you say, they castaways or teams that's, kind of on the journeyman route, two-way players and all that. I get that, but still, I felt like, hell, if you put 4 of them around LeBron, you might get a little more. The thing about this is, and I said this early in the season, Jay, when Anthony Davis got hurt, I said, if you're going to put it if you're going to put your season on a guy in year 19 to save your season, it's a wrap. Just go ahead and stick a fork in. Like, that's unreasonable to ask a guy of LeBron James' knowledge, of his age, to say, hey, man, we need you to put this team on your back. We seen you do it before. Yeah, when he was in his prime. I mean, it's just unreasonable. And if anything, I honestly feel this way, Jay. If anything, I think, first of all, Rob Pelinka deserves more credit than, more of the blame than Frank Vogel. I feel like the players, the big 3 for sure, deserves more of the blame than Frank Vogel. And honestly, hell, COVID deserves more blame than Frank Vogel at this point. Like, I don't know what the man was supposed to do. He was coaching with what he had. I don't know what you want him to do. You give him players, he win. You give him something to succeed with, he win. And I want to go back to last year because I think last year probably got something to do with him getting fired too. Is they're saying, well, he lost in the first round. I wonder what happened in the first round, why they lost. Because if I remember correctly, the Lakers was up 2-1 after playing in the play-in tournament. Oh, yeah, Anthony Davis got hurt again. What do you know? That's what it was. And then LeBron pretty much melded in after that. Oh, that's Frank Vogel fault, right? I don't know, man. This got a real scapegoat feel to me. What the headline should read is the Lakers start putting paper bags over their head after this disgusting, lackluster ass season. That's what the headline should be reading. Not trying to throw Frank Vogel under the semi 18-wheeler because this is not his fault. It's really not. But what I translate out of this is, A, they don't give Vogel as much credit for winning that title 2 years ago, is what I'm seeing. And then B, we can't blame the players. Well, Why not? Half of your roster can collect Social Security checks. When you have a roster as old as the Lakers is, it only take like 2 or 3 injuries to derail the season, and that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. It ain't enough handicap parking outside of the crypto.com center to facilitate for all these old dudes you had on the team. It ain't enough. And you probably don't even get enough in benefits to take care of all this. You got Russell in his knees. You got LeBron in his ankle. You got AD and the rest of his body. Like, come on. Not to mention the likes of like Melo, and you had DeAndre Jordan flopping around, and you got Dwight Howard doing whatever the hell it is he doing. And then you got, come on, man. Oh, and it's Frank Vogel fault? I don't know, Jay. Maybe you can make some sense of this for me. I don't get it. I don't know how this Frank Vogel fault. I mean, does he deserve some blame? Yes. But the way they trying to just pin everything on him, I'm not feeling it.
I didn't think this would work, but I thought they'd be successful in the regular season. But I didn't anticipate them to have the injuries that they would have had. To that point. But you remember, like we talked about them before the season started.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The age of their roster was really concerning to me. Carmelo Anthony, Trevor Ariza, Dwight Howard, DeAndre Jordan, obviously LeBron. I mean, it's just there's just too many key guys who are, old. And then of course, like your big offseason acquisition as a young gun is Kendrick Nunn, who played he didn't play none.
Zip zone.
So yeah, I found it, it's so many jokes have run through my mind. But I think the Lakers were the one team this year to have more than half of their team have active Life Alert memberships. So, like, and surprised Anthony Davis might as well just go ahead and sign up too with the rate that he gets hurt. But to put it, I think the bottom line up front on this is it's a cop out. It's a cop out for Rob Pelinka. He doesn't want the onus to be on him, I would say. So you fire the coach. I think because I think the point about, I think the point you made before the show was a pretty good one. Like, what coach could have done better? I think you'd be hard pressed to find a coach who could do better when Anthony Davis missed half the season. LeBron missed a little over a quarter of the season. Westbrook didn't miss many games, but I mean, he didn't play well. Like, when you compare Russell Westbrook's play to his contract, you're gonna be mightily disappointed. I mean, it's just there can be you can't explain it a different way. And so I don't know what Frank Vogel is supposed to do about that. I know like Westbrook's like, yeah, I don't know why Vogel I didn't read into much of that story of all that, but I do know this, like, hey man, you should have brought Westbrook off the bench. Oh yeah, $50 million contract, and
that would
you will be the sixth man. Like, what is this? Like, no man. I think that I thought the two biggest reasons. Actually, I'll go three. The three biggest reasons this wound up being a failure is number one, Anthony Davis. We know how crucial Anthony Davis how much he means to the team. He meant the world to the team when they won the title. That may well have been the peak of Anthony Davis' career because we just don't know what to expect from a health standpoint.
Right.
The second one is the Russell Westbrook trade, because what Rob Pelinka has done is he's made those two trades for Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook. I mean, there was a lot of cost, a lot of young players that went away, a lot of picks that went away. And so what you've ended up with is a guy who just can't stay healthy, and another guy, Russell Westbrook, who just is a player in decline. I don't see how you look at it any other way. And the third one is just supporting cast. When you hit your wagon to a guy who just, arguably the greatest player of all time, but he's how old he is, he's old, and a guy who's brittle, and a guy who's in decline and has a similar type of game as your best player, your supporting cast can't be, racking up the, 65 and over airline miles. That's just not it, man. So, I think Pelinka is more to blame. And of course, I would put more onus on Westbrook because he just couldn't play well enough. And I hate to put the blame on guys who just couldn't stay healthy, but I mean, that's Anthony Davis's track record at this point. For whatever reason, whatever it is, this guy just can't stay healthy. He's an incredible talent, and we've seen him have some great moments, and he had a great run to an NBA title. But yeah, I think is Vogel like completely blameless in this? Probably not. But again, what coach could have done better? And I think like the 3-year lifespan, we talked about it, it's fair. We've seen some pretty wild things in NBA coaching. I still never forget Dwayne Casey gets coach of the year. And I think the next afternoon, hey, buddy, you got a box? Well, here's one. Put your stuff in. You're out of here. So we've seen some crazy, crazy things happen. But like the dude wins an NBA title 2 years ago and that he's out the door, man, I think it's a cop-out. I think like what you do after this, like I would have stuck with him and I would have said, look, we're going back to the drawing board. Look, I'm going to do better as a general manager. I'm going to figure out how to build this team correctly. The coach, this is a championship coach that we have. And we got our 3 guys. We're going to roll with them and we're going to try to build a better squad around them. Probably should get a little younger. But, the problem that I have with the Lakers now is like, where do you go from here? Because remember, these trades, and I know I'm missing out on some names here, but Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, I think Julius Randle, and then who else? KCP, Montrezl Harrell, and Kyle Kuzma. I mean, think of all the guys. That's why, and that's exactly why you can't fill the bench out with any players because you've traded them all away. Westbrook's the highest paid player on the team, and just God, I mean. Look, I don't even want to look up some of them clips because they probably are horrifying to watch. But like you've seen it, like the dude is just not the same. He can't finish as well at the rim anymore. You can tell he's just not as explosive as he once was. He can't shoot. I mean, the turnovers just drive you crazy. And then like, I don't know what like that's another reason. Like, what is Vogel supposed to do? Like when your best players are just flawed in key ways that like they can break down. And like we ain't got no backups. We're out here like it looked like the Kobe Bryant years when we're like, hey, who's that guy? The Rockets just released who? Yeah, Tarek Black. Come on in here and play center for us. It's just crazy. And now like you're even seeing, even if you're like, oh, well, who can coach now? Well, like you like Quinn Snyder is an interesting name for me, but like he see what you do to Frank Vogel, who got a championship, and like, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll just hang out in Utah for about 5 more years, whatever. I don't know. That's my other problem with this. I don't know where the Lakers go from here because I feel like they kind of stuck. Like the only 2 ways you move forward is you just try to run this thing again and just be out here doing a lot of praying for Anthony Davis's joints. And like, can we get Westbrook? I don't know. Maybe we do. Westbrook need to like renegotiate. They need to renegotiate the man's contract. Like you can't make $50 million and be that porous. I mean, the days of triple doubles and all that, they gone, man. And I don't know. He ain't won a playoff series in a very long time. So yeah, I don't know, Drake. That's my biggest problem from this. I just don't know where they go from here.